News alerts and the Weather Authority forecast. This is Local 12 News.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us here for Local 12 News live at noon. I'm Adam Clements. We are in the Weather Center with meteorologist Eric DeBroca, and you can see it right behind us here, the big white fluffy stuff falling over the tri-state right now.
Let it snow, baby. Close to Christmas time. Unfortunately, not Christmas Day, so not a white Christmas this year, as we will warm things up by then. But right now, yeah, we're actually seeing some of that active weather into the tri-state region. Check it out. You can see our camera is showing from Oxford a pretty snowy scene earlier, and it still is right now. But I want to bring your attention to those roadways. You can still see not sticking to those roadways as temperatures still hover right around the freezing point, even a couple degrees above. And usually those main roadways too are a couple hours behind when the air temperature actually falls below freezing. So we should be just fine here, although winds are already picking up, meaning it's just not a really nice day out there to be outside as wind chill factors continue dropping. But look at this, pretty cool scene, I think, as overall rain changing to snow here in the past, say, 1 to 2 hours. And now eastern suburbs or counties getting in the action as far as seeing some of those snowflakes fly here this afternoon. Not a lot of accumulation, but up where we have seen some snow over the past maybe a couple hours or so, you can see some of that accumulation maybe amount to ½ an inch, up to 1 inch possible at the very most, but again, mainly for those grassy, untreated surfaces there. Still a pocket of rain where you see those temperatures above that freezing point out towards Batavia, even Lunken sitting in those mid-30s. But temperatures are falling. We're talking about some really cold wind chills, and yes, another Arctic blast. Your weekend forecast is coming up. Adam?
Eric, thank you. The FBI and Cincinnati police announced a reward of up to $15,000 for information on a child's killer. 5-year-old Artie Stanford was in his family's apartment in October when a bullet struck him. The shot came from a car that didn't stop as a gunman sprayed bullets into the building on Holland Drive in Winton Hills. When police arrived, family members found the boy suffering from a gunshot wound to the head in an upstairs bedroom. Stanford was taken to the hospital where he died of his injuries. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 513-352-3040. A local mother is indicted with complicity of murder and child endangerment for the death of her 4-month-old daughter. 31-year-old Danielle Rudy is in custody after the Goshen Fire Department responded to a report of an unresponsive 4-month-old infant on Meadow Drive. The child later died. Detectives also discovered that the infant's twin sister suffered previous physical injuries. The twins' father, 33-year-old Andre Kramer, is charged with aggravated murder and felonious assault. He is in custody, held on a $5 million bond. A grand jury indicts all 4 suspects in the Daniel Carter Beard Bridge fire today. Zachary Stumpf and Terry Stiles face 3 counts of aggravated arson and 1 count of arson. Caitlin Hall and James Hamilton are indicted for obstruction of justice for allegedly helping Stumpf and Stiles avoid police. Stumpf and Stiles face 12 years in prison. Hall and Hamilton face 3 years and a $10,000 fine. Drivers heading north on Daniel Carter Beard Bridge get an early Christmas present today. ODOT says all lanes on northbound I-471 are now open. Crews replaced a 70-foot section of the concrete wall that was damaged by last month's fire. Local 12's David Winter broke the news first on X. Cincinnati Public Schools estimates that 4,000 students experienced homelessness last year. During the school year, Project Connect helps about 2,500 students. This week, the program is helping parents of about 600 of those students provide a Christmas for the kids. Local 12 was there as mom Takara Randolph picked out toys for her kids. Takara and her 3 children have been sleeping in her car and in and out of motels.
Them donating toys to my family will bring a lot of joy to my kids. The resources that they give me brings joy to me. I'm really just grateful for anything they can or and willing to do for me. They have been such a good help.
Project Connect also offered Takara gas cards and will help her with emergency housing in a hotel. You can lend your support to the program by donating money, providing school supplies, or volunteering. We have more information on how you can do that in this story at local12.com. A knife attack at a school in Croatia this morning leaves 1 student dead and 6 others injured. The person who was killed was a 7-year-old girl. Police described the attacker as a young male. He's now in custody. Croatia TV says the attacker entered the school and went directly into the first classroom he found. The man convicted of killing 2 Indiana teen girls is sentenced to 130 years in prison. Last month, a jury found Richard Allen guilty of killing 13-year-old Abby Williams and 14-year-old Libby German in 2017. Prosecutors said that he cut their throats and left their bodies near a trail. The case went cold for more than 5 years until Allen was arrested in 2022. Prosecutors say Allen confessed to the murders more than 60 times while awaiting trial. Allen, who says he will appeal his conviction, faces up to 130 years in prison. Government funding is set to expire at midnight unless lawmakers agree on a deal to avert a partial government shutdown. Yesterday, the House rejected a spending bill backed by President-elect Trump. The package failed to reach the 2/3 threshold it needed to pass as lawmakers on both sides of the aisle refused to comply with Trump's sudden changes. House Speaker Mike Johnson is certain that they'll pass a new budget before the deadline.
We will regroup and we will come up with another solution, so stay tuned.
The funding bill would extend government financing into March. If the government shuts down, several agencies would experience funding interruptions, including paychecks for federal workers, national parks, and border enforcement. Scholars in a local charter school are in for a Christmas treat. Alliance Academy was selected for the Smith League Foundation's 3rd annual Christmas giveaway today. Founder Peyton Smith provided Alliance's 351 students one gift from their wish lists. He shopped for the gifts himself and went classroom to classroom, delivering presents and a little bit of holiday cheer. 2 students are called heroes after their bus driver suffers a cardiac arrest on the way to school. The bus crashed on its way to Cooper High School in Boone County on Wednesday morning, sending 5 people to the hospital. The driver slumped over as the bus approached the intersection of Collier Lane and Hanover Boulevard. The bus crashed into several trees in the backyard of a home on Sherwood Court. That's when Micah Jones stepped in to help.
And I hit my head on the window, and then I go to jump over the seat, but ended up jumping over his legs and everything, so I can go pull the brake and everything, and turn the wheel a little bit so we would steer away from the house, and then took the key out.
How about that? Rescuers took the driver and 4 students to the hospital. That bus driver remains in the ICU at last check. Doctors treated and released 3 of the students while 1 student was still in the hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. A bill aimed at regulating unmanned aerial vehicles heads to Ohio Governor Mike DeWine's desk. 2 drone sightings near Wright-Patterson Air Force Base forced it to shut down for hours. House Bill 77 makes it against the law to fly a drone in an unsafe manner or over sensitive government sites. Anyone found in violation could face a $500 fine or up to 6 months in jail. This aligns state restrictions with already existing federal regulations.
Then this gives the locals the teeth to not only tell that person you're breaking the law, but you are breaking now law that we're going to be able to prosecute.
State Representative Bernie Willis, who you just heard from, co-sponsored that bill. It also makes it a crime if a drone interferes with the work of first responders. Well, the Bengals' playoff hopes get a big boost last night after the Chargers come from behind to beat the Broncos in Los Angeles. The Bengals already had to win the remaining 3 games of the season. They still have to do that, but they also needed either the Broncos or the Chargers to lose their final 3 games. So with the Broncos' loss, you're telling me there's a chance. Elderly people are healthier today than they were in previous generations. We'll have the reasons behind it coming up. Plus, 85,000 baby spoons are recalled due to a possible choking hazard. What you need to know ahead on Local 12 News, live at noon. Hey, remember, you can still watch Local 12 News even when you're on the go. Scan the QR code you see on your screen to watch through local12.com, our free Local 12 app, and the News On app. Don't leave home without Local 12. People are healthier today than they were in previous generations. A study by Columbia University looked at people in England and found that both physical and mental functioning have improved for older people. Researchers say medical advances and improvements in education and nutrition are likely the main reasons. More Americans are living in homes without running water. A study published in Nature Cities found that high housing costs and expenses are leading to low-income people in major cities being unable to afford water. The problem has been getting worse since the economic crash of 2008. Access to safe drinking water is key to health and hygiene. Scientists discover a new genetic link to autism. A study published in the American Journal of Human Genetics tested people with autism and found a common variant in a gene called DDX53, which plays a role in brain development and function. Researchers say the findings help underscore the role that genetics play in developing autism. 85,000 baby spoons are being recalled because they could pose a choking risk. The Melly silicone spoons were sold as part of a feeding set and also sold in packs of 3 and 4. They were sold in stores and online between April and August of this year. The recall comes after reports of the spoon tip breaking. You're asked to stop using them immediately and contact the company for a replacement. So far, no injuries have been reported. We have another recall alert to tell you about, this time for baby car seats. We'll tell you what you need to know after the break. Crisis in the classroom. We are committed to helping schools identify problems and find solutions. If there's an issue in your district, bring it to Local 12's Chelsea Sick. Leave a tip at 513-223-3029. Email Local 12 Classroom Tips at Gmail or reach out to Chelsea on Facebook. Is recalling more than 600,000 car seats. Debris can enter the front harness adjuster on the Rava baby car seats, leading to a loose harness. No injuries or deaths have been reported. The recalled seats were made between July 16th of 2016 and October 25th of 2023. The company will provide owners with a free remedy kit to fix the problem. In the last year, the population of the United States grew at the fastest rate in more than 20 years. New data from the Census Bureau shows that the U.S. population increased almost 1% this year. That's roughly 3.3 million people to surpass 340 million. 2.8 million of those were immigrants. The South saw the most population growth, growing by 1.8 million people. Shares of drug giant Novo Nordisk tanked in early trading today. That's after the company released the test results of an experimental obesity drug, CagriSema. The treatment combines 2 powerful drugs and showed a 23% average weight loss. The results were lower than the 25% average that the company predicted. One executive says the company is encouraged by the results of the drug and plans to use the trial to improve weight loss treatment. FIFA signs Netflix to a U.S. broadcast deal for the Women's World Cup in 2027 and 2031. It's the most significant deal that FIFA has signed with a streaming service for a major tournament. The World Cup is typically broadcast on free-to-air public networks to reach the biggest audiences. The 32-team, 64-game tournament in the summer of 2027 will be played in Brazil. The 2031 host hasn't been decided yet, though the U.S. is expected to bid. Taking a live look outside, the white and fluffy stuff is falling throughout the tri-state. Is it going to stick, though? Meteorologist Eric DeBroca says we're going to deal with a little bit of a warm-up, and we're not going to see a white Christmas. Womp womp. Local 12 News live at noon is back after the break.
This is meteorologist Eric DeBroca's hour-by-hour forecast.
All right, let it snow while we have the chance, because this is as close to a white Christmas as we're going to get, missing it by about just 5 days here for us. Live look from Oxford. As you can see, the snow's been actually flying there for about 4 hours now, since 8 a.m. or so. Freezing point from greater Cincinnati, still talking about now a wind chill factor as our winds continue strengthening at around 17 miles per hour, sustained there. Feels like 21. Just not a great day to be outside overall. Rain and then snow. Can see some of the wind was blowing these tents earlier here from the Christkindl Market. Looks pretty though if you're inside, nice and warm. Overall, high temperature was already earlier this morning at 37, so we continue falling very steadily and also very slowly from that point on. 31, so we do have some areas off, especially off to the west. They're actually 29 out in Versailles, where we are below freezing. So those are the areas that would be concerned if it was snowing there, but we're just kind of not lining both of those things up. Really, that's been the case for a lot of our early winter season, have not had both of those key things. But nonetheless, more snow, but we're now seeing it move off towards the east. The heaviest is right now, actually about the last hour or so, starting to already see it lighten up across areas west of Cincinnati into our Indiana counties there, as I mentioned, but also seeing that now just shift up towards the east. So this is now going into just some lighter snow and eventually off to the east. And still, temperatures above freezing, so that rain-snow mix going to be very critical there as far as temperatures go. It will end, though, with some light drizzle, light rain actually, as the precipitation winds down here this evening from west to east, slowly throughout the afternoon. Meanwhile, as that winds down, our winds continue strengthening. We will continue to see gusts 25, even up to 30 miles per hour. That with falling temperatures means, again, not a great day to be outside with wind chill factors into those teens. Temperatures not terrible here in the Midwest, but you go just a little bit further towards the Northwest and things actually change quite a bit. We're talking single digits, even below zero. Once again, this is the third blast of Arctic air we've seen in about 3 weeks. So that's impressive for December to be able to do that. We're going to be more or less on the outskirts of this one, but still see some effects, meaning temperatures are going to be taking a hit tomorrow, right around 10 degrees below average. Wind chill factors, yeah, not as terrible as the last couple batches, but still low to mid 20s. It's going to be cold tomorrow. It's going to be cold Sunday. For the Bengals game, again, dress accordingly. We do see more sunshine heading into our Sunday afternoon, so there's the silver lining there perhaps. Monday, look at this. We get back above average quickly, wasting no time here. This is our last winter blast here for the year, as we're looking at mid to upper 40s, some light rain showers early in the day on Christmas Eve, and how about some 50s for us heading into our Christmas Day holiday? Not too bad. We'll be right back after this.
Breaking news right now, the northbound lane of I-75 is shut down. You can see that semi right in the middle of your screen, blocking traffic in all lanes. Can't say what exactly caused this, but it's pretty safe to assume that the weather could have played a role in this as the snow is falling, roads are getting slick. But again, this is at Town Street at the exit there on I-75. Again, the northbound lanes, all of them shut down. No word on how long it'll be shut down as crews work to try to get that semi out of the road. No report of any injuries so far. We're working to learn more, and we'll keep you posted throughout the day. Make sure you stay with Local 12 News and Local12.com, as well as our free Local 12 app for all the latest updates. And Eric, you know, you look out there, you see the roads are slick right now.
Definitely.
Not icy necessarily because it hasn't been cold enough, but
we're now starting to see those temperatures fall.
Right.
So the very tail end of the snow could at least see a brief window where we do start to see those slick roadways. Case in point there. Can't say for sure whether the weather actually caused it, but I can tell you this, it's not helping.
Yeah.
And as we kind of zoom it in here, you can see some of those snow showers starting to taper, especially areas west to east, so that's some good news there. But cold temperatures this weekend, really, the next few days, very cold. And then a nicer setup, much milder heading into our Christmas holiday.
no white Christmas.
No, if it was today, though.
50 degrees, I'm saying.
Yeah,
How about that? All right. We'll be back first at 4. Please join us.